Hello, friends, and happy CWK Live Day to all of you who celebrate. I am your host, Dan Zare, delighted to talk Star Wars with all of you. Well, it's going to be quite a show. I missed seeing you all last week. School is wrapping up, and so many things going on, but now that the dust has settled and we're in full on summer mode, it is time to do some CWK Live. And I'm very excited again to talk with all of you about the Barriss Offee arc. Let's bring in our friends. Hello, Robert. This is the Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Robert, great to see you. Brian, this is the Monday you are looking for. Thank you, Brian. I hope you had a very happy birthday, my friend. I saw on Facebook that was the case. You may have noticed I changed a few things around, changed some angles on the camera, adapted some lighting, did some other things. So now you can see the original collection figures right there. Pretty fun. It is the retro ones. The classic ones that I had from when I was a little kid are over here where you can't really see right now, but these make for a really nice addition to my collection. So what are we talking about tonight? I know it's going to be an interesting night because so many of you are at the AMC theaters across the country watching the Acolyte preview, not a premiere, but the preview. So that's super fun. But those of you who are here, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about your top 5 moments from Tales of the Empire's Barriss Offee arc, since we weren't able to chat last week. We're going to talk about all 3 in one fell swoop. We're really looking forward to that. And we are concluding our Aurebesh lessons. Can you believe it? Mr. Fudge is here, as is Burnt Waffle. Hello, my friends. I know Mary and Liberty and several of you, and Minta as well, have other commitments, whether it's Star Wars related or just some family things going on, or just life. Life gets busy, and I get that, and I fully understand that, which is why it's nice you can watch this show. Well, you can watch it here live, or you can watch it later on Coffee with Kenobi's YouTube channel, or Facebook page, or on even Twitter there, or X now. It is on the Coffee with Kenobi feed itself. But now it's time, after what, a year? We've been doing this for a year with different delays and things like that, and emphasizing other things. It's time to wrap up our Aurebesh lessons. Let's do it. For the last time, I'm introducing our Aurebesh lessons on CWK Live. Let's go. My, can you believe it, friends? We're doing our Aurebesh lessons for the last time. We'll just go through everything once more with feeling. There's our letter A, and we are going to do a quiz. You know, if you're going to do a review every week, you've got to do a quiz of some sort, right? I got to check and test your knowledge. I mean, that's just the rules, right? That's just the rules. So let's see. E, F, you know, the alphabet. There are still some that I continue to struggle with. But when you see them, I don't know about you, but I find that as I'm trying to translate Aurebesh, it's much easier to read it than it is to write it. And that might be with all languages, honestly. But when you can piece a couple together, all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, that is the letter O. That is the letter P. You know, you start to kind of click them together. The letter R and the letter D are very similar, but the D has the line through it. Aaron is here. Hello, Aaron. Great to see you, pal. So nice to see you on the show. Letter T, letter U, which is a very unique one. That one's hard to kind of match up with, as is the letter V, because it looks like the English letter Y. The W is a rectangle. The X is a triangle. The Y is like a V with an extra line running diagonally from on the left side. And now, this deserves a drum roll, right? The last letter of Aurebesh, the letter Z. When I spell my name in Aurebesh and I get to my last name, that's a hard one because that Z doesn't look like anything. What does it look like? Can anybody help me with that? Typically, I think of, sometimes they look like Lego pieces or Lego hands or 8-bit things. Either way, I don't know about you, but I have continued to really enjoy and embrace how beautiful Aurebesh is. I mean, it's such a beautiful font. It's a beautiful written language. I think I've said this before, but years and years and years ago, someone tried to stump me to see how much I knew about Star Wars because they said, you don't know what the language Aurebesh is, so you don't like Star Wars. And I said, well, I do like Star Wars, in fact, and it's not a spoken language; it's a written one. So, Aaron says it looks like a guy in a chair. Okay, so, so like Professor X, but with a Z, maybe? Can we do that? A Lego hand. I noticed. I kind of thought it looked like a Lego hand too, just like one that's sort of in a bit of repose. Robert says it looks like a person sitting with his arms extended to me. Okay, okay. And then Darren says, Z, this one is the last one about numbers. Sorry, I never looked them up myself. You know, I didn't really get into the numbers thing. Is that even? I mean, they must be used. I never even thought about using numbers. I guess we could consider that, but I don't usually see numbers in Aurebesh. But now that you say that, Darren, they're probably going to pop up everywhere. Everything I look at in my office, I don't see numbers. And there is when Galaxy's Edge first opened, they gave out these trading cards, and I kept one. Well, I kept several. Who are we kidding? But it gave me the Aurebesh translator, which is part of what I've been using, and it just gives the alphabet. It didn't give numbers. So that, and since Lucasfilm made these, that's what I went by. But that doesn't mean they don't exist. I mean, depending on where you look, because there are a lot of different versions of Aurebesh online, but sometimes they get quite different in their approach and sort of different fonts and things like that. All right. This one goes out to Liberty. Liberty is watching the Aurebesh. Liberty is watching the Acolyte premiere or preview. But she suggested, hey, why don't you use the names of the Bad Batch? And this was before we had finished, but I thought it was a good idea. So I've got my piece of paper here, and I'm going to quiz myself along with all of you. We're going to do all of the names of the Bad Batch of Clone Force 99. So try to write Wrecker in Aurebesh if you can. I will try to, and I will not look at my little cheat sheet that I have. W R E. Let me think about E. E. Gosh, I can't think of E. C K E. I guess I have E twice. And then R. All right. Let's see how I did here. How did you do with Wrecker? I'll give you a few moments. You do a little countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you don't quite get it all, that's okay. Just fill in the gaps. So here's what it is. There's the W, which is the rectangle. The R is the 7. The E is the V with the I on it, which I couldn't remember the first time. But when I was writing it the second time, I could remember. I don't know why. And there's the C with the 3 lines. The K I always remember because I've got the Ahsoka Mandalorian Legacy Lightsaber hilt box. And so I see that on there all the time. W-R-E-C-K-E-R. So there is Wrecker. Who got that one right? I missed one of the letters. And then I went back and fixed it. So I will be fully honest about that. I'm always honest. I don't think you can't win or you can't get it right if you're cheating. Come on. So let's go to Crosshair, C-R-O-S-S-H-A-I-R. And again, whether you're joining us for the first time for the last week of Aurebesh, you can certainly go back and rewatch all of these, or, you know, just catch up with us. That's totally fine. There will be, there's all kinds of guides and codes out there. I'll post something, but it helps. It's just fun practice. I really think it's good for your brain. It's almost like Wordle, but Star Wars version for me because I had to think of how to do the Aurebesh. So Crosshair, let's write the Crosshair. C, R, and I can use my paper from when I wrote Wrecker, you know. O, S, I really like writing the letter S. H, what is H? Crosshair and Aurebesh, exactly. What's Crosshair and Aurebesh? That's what we're doing. I can't think of the letter H. Rats, I'm going to have to skip that one. It's probably super obvious. I, and then R. R-O-S-A-C-R-O-S-S-H. What is it? D-E-F-G-H. I can't remember H. Rats. It's probably going to be super obvious. All right, I'm going to give you the next one. There it is. It's crosshair. C-R-O-S-S-H. Oh, H is just the 3 lines. Rats. A-I-R. So I got one wrong. Just one wrong letter. How's everybody else doing? No one has weighed in yet. Don't leave me out here on this island by myself. Let me know how you're doing on your Aurebesh spelling. So that's crosshair. I am not 2 for 2 yet. I'm close. Robert's 100%. Robert, you have continued to do well. You are at the head of the class as always, my friend. Love that. So now let's spell hunter. Now that I remember H. U. Oh, come on. S-T-U. It's just, I continue to be reminded, I say this all the time, how strange this must be to listen to me think about how to do the alphabet in Aurebesh. I mean, what a high quality podcast you're listening to, my friends. Hey, a lot of you are very kind and generous with your time, and I appreciate that. So, H-U. U is kind of like a pinchy thing, isn't it? In T E and then R. I have a feeling I screwed this one up. I wasn't completely sure about how to do. Wait, let me think about N. That's not right for N. N is like a swoosh down. No, I'm not sure. All right, well, let's see how to spell hunter. Hunter is, there's the H, there's the U. I messed up the U. My N was off. Grats. I was thinking combining it with the E. My T was right. My E was right. But yeah, so I missed 2 on that one. My goodness. So I am, first one I missed 1. Second one I missed 1. And the third one I missed 3. Wow. So far I'm not doing 100%. Brian says I always have problems with H. I don't know why. That one should be one of the easiest because it's just it's not a weird shape. It's just 3 lines. But I don't know. So now let's go for tech. Hopefully tech isn't too bad. There's T. Let's see if I can finally get the E right for once. Yes, there's the C. And then the H. Brian, we can do this, buddy. We can do this. We can get tech correct. Tech is so awesome. Imagine if we can get this correct. How exciting. How exciting for us. All right, so that's not very many letters. Let's see how you did. T, E, C, H. I did it 100% on that one. Now there were only 4 letters, so that's a little bit easier. Robert, you still have 100%, buddy? I'm guessing you probably do. Now let's go to Echo. Echo is just 4 letters also. They're closer to I think this is a little bit easier ones. E, C, H, and then O. I feel pretty good about this. Let's see. Echo, E-C-H-O, Echo, a really wonderful character that I became. He was a favorite of mine, and he was not really spotlighted near as much as the rest of the members of the Bad Batch, but he always left an impact to me. And he's memorable because he was part of what brought the Bad Batch into the Star Wars universe as they went and helped rescue Echo in the last season of Clone Wars. So let's see how to spell Echo. E-C-H-O. E-C-H-O. I got it right. All right, -0 on that one too. Aurebesh H is like this, the cap H on its side, but I have a problem when it's lowercase. I always want to put some type of bend in it. That's fair, Brian. I totally understand that. All right, last one. Of course, it's Omega. We got to spell Omega right. That's a letter we haven't used yet. We haven't really written the M yet. I know what the M looks like. The M is, I always think of the M as like somebody's flexing their muscle. E G is like the sand crawler thingy. And then A. I think I'm not quite perfect on this one. O-M-E-G-A. All right. There it is. O, I got my O right. My M, I'll give myself half credit for that one. Because I started to make the shape at the bottom. I made it more like diagonal instead of left to right. There's the E. The G, I was pretty close because I didn't have the little tiny line at the top, and then I did the A right. So I'm going to give myself minus half for that one too. So I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 7, 31, 32, 33. And now you too, kids, can listen to Dan's there talk and count to himself. How about that? So there's 33 total, if I add it correctly. And I miss 1, 3, 4, 5. I miss 6. So I got a 27 out of 33 on my quiz. How did everyone else do on their quiz? While you're thinking about that, let's go ahead and jump into our top 5. Top 5 is we're gonna take the entire Barriss Offee arc, and we're gonna give our top 5 moments from that arc. Robert, no H and Omega. That's right, Brian. Robert got a 33 out of 33, but I have to admit I've been writing Aurebesh since before we started the lessons, so I started with a leg up. While we've been writing a new letter each week, I've been also trying to learn the names of the letters Auric through Xeric. Letters don't quite work with the song, though. They don't, and I'm not quite sure if the sounds of the letters are a completely authentic. I'm not sure about that. I don't know. I don't know for sure if they are. I don't know for sure that they aren't. So I just haven't bothered with those yet. But Robert, that is impressive. The fact that you got 33 out of 33 is, in fact, most impressive, as our dear friend Darth Vader would say. Let's jump into top 5. Aurebesh ABCs of the Cantina song. Oh, well, that could be interesting. All right. The top 5 moments from the Tales of the Empire Barriss Offee arc. I would argue that for top to bottom, the strength of all 3 episodes equally, this arc might be the best of the Tales of animated series. I think they're all good in their own way, but these 3 are so incredibly strong. And I apologize for not giving each of them their own show, but there's just no time in the schedule because the Acolyte is, coming out tomorrow night, which we will talk about here in a little bit. All right, so now let's do this. Let's give our top 5 moments from the Barriss Offee arc. My first one, the duel with the Grand Inquisitor. You knew it was going to happen because that's how the Grand Inquisitor tests people. You had to see if Barriss Offee was worthy of the Inquisitor program, what kind of duelist she is, how she handles stress and adversity, how does she give into her anger, and early on she fits the bill the Grand Inquisitor is looking for. The fight is very well choreographed. I continually am impressed with the fight sequences in all of these animated features, especially with Tales of the Empire. Really tremendous, an excellent way to kick off my list. Number 5 for Brian, Barriss's view from her cell in the Jedi Temple on fire. That's a great shot. That is a great sequence. Robert 5, the drabness of the colors they used to depict the Empire. Even the Stormtroopers' uniforms appeared gray. They did. And color was a big part of what we talked about on Coffee with Kenobi over the past couple of weeks when we broke those down. So that's awesome. I feel honored that you caught that as well, Robert. I feel like I'm in good company. Mr. Fudge is 5 seeing the Jedi Temple burning due to Order 66, similar to what Brian had just mentioned. Very powerful. And Burnt Waffle is number 5. As he loved the story, just the overall story is really, really powerful and well done. Nick is here. Hello, Nick. What's up, buddy? He says the reuse of caves and truths in a Star Wars story. I'm all about a good cave metaphor, Nick. It's like you're reading my mind, my friend. I love those too. I always like when I get to write about them or talk about them or explain them. And I have a feeling it's going to happen. And hopefully, Nick, you got to hear us talk about it on Coffee with Kenobi this week. I tried to talk about the caves in the final episode, which we will certainly get to. Darren is interesting to see what happens to Barriss. I am, but I'm also totally at peace with not knowing anything about it because I feel like it really wrapped things up beautifully. Again, I thought this whole entire arc was just absolutely terrific. All right, let's go to number 4. Number 4 for me is the mask metaphor. There are a lot of metaphors in this 3-part arc, but the mask metaphor, as I look up at different masks on the wall here, is masks allow you to hide from yourself or to do things. It's almost like social media, but more 4-dimensional, where you can do things and get away with things you wouldn't normally because you're wearing a mask. You can hide, you can disguise yourself. She only does certain things in the second episode, I'm sorry, it's not plural, when she's wearing the mask. She doesn't do anything evil per se, but she does put herself inside with people who are evil in the second episode, but she only does it when she wears the mask. Then she takes off the mask and she's able to relate to the child that they're trying to get the information from. And it's just a great metaphor. She does it a lot. As soon as at the end, she takes off the mask to fight the Fourth Sister, Lynn, and it's super cool that it is led. We're led into that fight because she takes off the mask itself. Really well done. Lori is here, turning in late. Hello, Lori. Great to see you. Nice to have you on the show. Number 4 for Robert is Darth Vader's appearance. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Brian's for the reintroduction of the Grand Inquisitor and how Lynn, it looks like you said in the Green Lanterns, talk to Barriss in their slanted view of the Jedi. Yes, they do. And they have a very warped view. And you wonder how much they believe or how much they've been manipulated to believe. Either way, they live it and breathe it to the detriment of anybody they run into who doesn't agree with them. Number 4 for Mr. Fudge is the action, which is terrific. Burnt Waffles 4 is the very cool fight sequence between Barriss and their friend. Really well done, very suspenseful, and really kind of traumatic, I would say, because a lot of trauma there. They're constantly encouraged about fighting one another to the death, and they're put in these no-win situations. It's like it's not quite like Lord of the Flies, the classic novel, but there are some elements there. Although one is because of nature, and this one is because of the evil and folly and the vanity of man transmitted through the dark side of the Force. But interesting stuff. All right. Darren says seeing Barriss trying to decide or being forced into one side versus the other. It's like she thought she was making the right decision, but then second guessing herself. Yes, you're right. It's a fascinating thing, isn't it? Let's go to number 3. Number 3. It's time for you to meet your new master, and then you hear the breathing, and you see the boots and the cape, and he just walks in. He doesn't say anything. You just hear the breathing, the menace of Vader, the way they just bow down to him. Barriss doesn't quite seem to know what's going on, but there's no denying the power and the presence of Darth Vader, and it's great. Do I wish I could have seen more Darth Vader? I mean, sure, but no. Actually, it's fine the way that they did. It's just enough. Like I always say, Vader and Jaws, less is more. Just their presence means something. And there's already so much that we know about them to kind of bring us in to the power of these characters. So, your new master, what a great, powerful line. Loved it. Nick's 4 was Barriss's subtle acts of hospitality towards the family I really like hospitality playing a big role in Star Wars. You can tell a lot about a character the way they welcome a stranger. Yes, you can, and that is a classic archetype all the way back to ancient Greece and even before. The way you treat a stranger, the way you treat a waitress, a waiter, someone like that. Those you can tell a lot about it, that character or a person. Good catch, Nick. I like that. Number 3 for Mr. Fudge. Barriss protecting the child that gave her information where the Jedi was at. It was a really nice touch to show us some character moments here for Barriss and helps us to care about her more. Brian's 3. Barriss' spectrum of emotions as she goes on her first mission, culminating with force pushing Lynn off the cliff. It was a powerful moment, wasn't it? Number 3 for Robert. Barriss telling Lynn she's a Jedi. That was so cool. What a great little sequence there. And Darren's next one. The fight where Barriss is forced to fight the other person, the shrinking shield hole in the middle. Wow. Yeah, it was like a type of a gladiator thing. Pretty crazy stuff. Let's see. I want to go to the next one. Let's go to number 2. If you have a number 3, whether you're popping it in now or later on the CWK Cafe or Coffee with Kenobi Facebook group, please go ahead and do so. Love to see what you have for us. Number 2, Nick mentioned this. I'll mention it here briefly. The cave metaphor. Star Wars is full of great metaphors with caves. The Empire Strikes Back, The Last Jedi, several things in the animated different series. But this cave metaphor in the final episode of the Barriss Offee arc is fabulous. It's all metaphorical. Lynn's journey inside herself. How does she know how to get out? Does she know how to choose a new path for herself? How is fear keeping her, empowering her? She thinks it's empowering her, but it's actually her master, as Barriss says. And it's just great. I love the cave metaphor. It's really sharp. Pay attention to, there's certain things in literature and good stories when you see people coming together to eat, when you see someone going into a cave. There are a lot of other really very clear, strong archetypes, but caves for this one stands out so much. Now, we talked about it in great detail this week on Coffee with Kenobi, so be sure to check it out and see what you think. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody. Burnt Waffles 3, the fight against Barriss and the Inquisitor. Yes, Mr. Fudge, number 2, seeing Darth Vader entering the room, which is great. Brian's 2, Barriss' compassion for Lynn and trying to help her in the cave, even though she's trying to kill her. She's fabulous. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. Robert's 2, how well the episodes depicted the lack of choice under the Empire's authority. Example, when Lynn asks Barriss if she will join her. The stormtroopers are raiding their blasters. Amar's accent he had when he left. The fight to the death between Barriss and Dantel. Great stuff. Number 3 for Nick. Barriss using the Force to choke Dante. Yeah, Dante's what? Yeah, that's it. Lynn and Barriss' lightsaber fight was number 2 for Nick, which is also spectacular. Burnt Waffles 2, seeing Darth Vader, and also how Barriss puts her mask on and does evil things, but when she doesn't have the mask on, she becomes like a Jedi. Exactly, that mask metaphor. Really interesting. Next one for Darren. The music and the colors, the lighting, set the tone quite well. The music is really extraordinary. It evokes emotion and empathy and also drama and tension, but it never feels manipulative. It's just really beautifully done. And I absolutely love the music in this one as well. So fun. Let's see. I don't think I miss anybody. Again, if I did, I apologize. Please be sure to throw that in there. Let's go to number 1. Number 1 in the Barriss Offee arc, I forgive you. My one word this week on Coffee with Kenobi when we talked about this final episode of the Barriss Offee arc. And as you know, we always just pick one word. Each of us picks one word to talk about. If you could describe an episode in one word, what would it be? And I said Christian. Because forgiveness is the core of one of the core tenets, of Christianity, to forgive your enemies, right? Lynn is an enemy. She tries to kill Barriss. She would have if not for Barriss being saved. No, I just assume that because it looks like she's trying to save her. Hopefully she does. For all we know, they may get out of that cave and she won't be saved. I don't know. But I like to think that she was. Either way, she forgives her enemy for killing her, and for everything, because these choices that Lynn made, how it impacted Barriss Offee later, ends up allowing Barriss to have a choice to make a better path for herself, to make a better life for herself. And that, coupled with her forgiving her enemies and ending the myth of redemptive violence, where the only way to destroy or defeat an enemy is to kill them, and picking a new path, absolutely extraordinary. Really, really sophisticated storytelling. Trust me. I don't know why I'm saying trust me. Trust me that I think it's sophisticated storytelling, because I think it really is extraordinary. So bravo to the team on Tales of the Empire for telling such a powerful, compassionate, evocative story that really made me think and really showcased full ranges of human emotions. Just so good. All right, let me go backwards. Darren's last one, I think it's your last one, is Darth Vader's appearance. Extraordinary stuff. Mr. Fudge, Lynn leaving her lightsaber in the cave and seeing Lynn carrying her friend's body out of the cave. Also, do you think if Lynn burned Barriss's body or just buried it? I don't know. I don't think that, I would like to think that Barriss didn't die, but I don't know. I'm assuming she would bury. I don't know. I don't want to think about that, Mr. Fudge. Come on. That's a good question. I'd like to think she survived, but I have no idea. Number 1 for Robert. Barriss's complete sense of calm and control in the way out. Effortlessly dodging the aggressive swings of Lynn's lightsaber, her forgiving Lynn. All terrific. Bert Waffle, the end, where Barriss tries to help Lynn, but Barriss is ending up dead. Also be interested to see where Lynn's story would go. Again, I just don't know that Barriss is dead. She says she's going to help her. I hope she does. Nick has a great quote. There is no way out, is there? And then Barriss says, that is what the Empire wants you to think. Exactly, and that's where that cave metaphor comes in as well. Brian's number 1, the plot twist. Barriss coming back to the Jedi. Barriss was so angry at the end of the Clone Wars, and I did not think she would make the choice to turn back. But well done. Yes, well done. We all have choices. We all can forgive. Ryan Johnson actually talked about it when he was being interviewed when he made The Last Jedi. And they said, can Ben Solo ever be redeemed? He said, well, Darth Vader was way worse than he did. Interesting, right? And again, very, very Christian idea, the idea of forgiveness. And it's just so cool. So refreshing to see something like that presented in popular media. Absolutely well done. So smart. So again, so evocative of the human spirit and what the depths that we are capable of. We're not just capable of being frustrated or angry or aggressive. We're capable of great love, great kindness, great forgiveness. And it really is showcased in this episode. And I absolutely love it. But now, what are we going to do next time on CWK Live? Well, that's a good question. Of course, we're going to talk about your top 5 moments from the Acolyte episodes 1 and 2. Episodes 1 and 2 both drop tomorrow night, I believe at 8 o'clock Central Time. So both episodes drop tomorrow night. We'll watch them, and then we'll come back next week and talk about the first 2 episodes. Now, speaking of next week, actually, let's go ahead and jump into Ask Dan Z, and then I'll tell you some scheduling things. All right. So this says join us next week. That's actually not true. We're actually going to do something a little bit different over the next couple of weeks. And why is that? Because it is summertime and I'm a teacher. So let me show you the next 3 weeks, what we got going on here on Coffee with Kenobi's Live. There will be definitely regular Coffee with Kenobi episodes every week, sometimes multiple episodes each week. But next week, it'll be the same time, but a different day. Instead of next Monday night, which would have been the 10th, I'm actually going to record the live podcast on Sunday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. We will give you top 5 episodes of the Acolyte, episodes 1 to 2. And then the week after that, the week of June 17th, I'll actually be out of town with my family on vacation. So there will be no live show that week, although there will be Coffee with Kenobi, as I mentioned. And then the week after that, 3 weeks from now, back to business. We will talk about the Acolyte episodes 3 and 4 combined. So that's what's going to look like the next 3 weeks. Thank you for bearing with me. I hope that you're able to find it. I will post all kinds of reminders, but with vacation and things like that, baseball games that Mason is in and other things. Sometimes it's just hard. I actually sometimes think I have less free time in the summer because there's so many other things going on, but that's a good problem to have. Robert wants to know, will I be getting or have I gotten the Chiati Monday lightsaber belt? I've not ordered it. I don't know if I'm going to get it. I know they only had 6,000 of the box set. Maybe they'll have a regular one. What about you, Robert? It sure looked cool. Brian wants to know, how is Mason doing in baseball? You know what? He's having a great season. He loves his friends. He's learning a lot about what it means to be a good young man. The coaches are doing a great job. We're having fun. Parents are great. It's been good fun, Brian. Those of you interested, it looks like the Acolyte episodes 1 2 have lengths of 41 and 36 minutes. That is correct. I can absolutely confirm that, Darren. You may have seen, I did post on social media that I have seen the first 4 episodes of the Acolyte. I was able to share a social media review of it, so look on Coffee with Kenobi's Facebook or Twitter or Threads, and even on Instagram I posted a social media review. The full review is coming out tomorrow, so be ready for that. Did I go to the screening? I did not go to the screening. The main screening in Hollywood I was invited to but was not able to attend, but I did see the first 4 episodes of the Acolyte, and I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what you all think. When are you going to give us a tour of your room? It's a good question. You know what? Sometime I just need to do that. You know what, Mr. Fudge? Remind me. I'm going to try to change. I've got a few things I'm kind of modifying in here still, but I will do that because I want to show them for you. I've got some ideas for some different camera things and lighting, but I definitely want to show you a tour. There's a tour of the old studio that was on Coffee with Kenobi's YouTube channel. So you go to Coffee with Kenobi's YouTube channel. Hopefully you're subscribed anyway, but just go in there and search for studio tour and you'll see what the old studio looked like. I've certainly rearranged it a lot, but at least gives you sort of a general idea. At least the wall of all the action figures are there too. All right, so again, don't forget to join me next week on June 9th, which will be Sunday. We'll talk about the first 2 episodes of Star Wars The Acolyte, which again drops tomorrow night. I know you're all very excited to talk about it, and I'm certainly excited to see what you think. I'm also excited and I continue to get updates that people are signing up to join us on the Disney Wish, June 16th to the 20th, 2025. This is the group, the travel group that Coffee with Kenobi does with Mouse Fan Travel. Last summer, almost a year ago to the day, we all experienced the Halcyon together. It was just such a wonderful time with amazing memories, making new friends, and reigniting friendships from all across the world. Well, now you got a chance to do that. You got a chance to join us on the Disney Wish. If you're curious what it's going to be like, what it's going to cost, what all is involved, go to coffeewithkenobi.com/Disney Wish. Look, it's no cost. It's no obligation. It's not like I'm going to, if you start to sign up and you can't do it, that's okay. I won't even know. And I wouldn't think less of you anyway. I just want you to consider it because I selfishly just want to hang out with you. I want to hang with you on the Disney Wish again, June 16th to the 20th, 2025. So much fun. You can go on the Hyperspace Lounge with us. There's a lot of other Star Wars things on the ship. Plus, a Disney cruise is just the most wonderful vacation, honestly. Brian, thanks for all you do, Dan. It's always a great way to start the week. Brian, thank you, buddy. And again, happy birthday to you. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I will see you all next Sunday. Remember, for our modified schedule, so we can talk about the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte, episodes 1 and 2. Enjoy them tomorrow. Be sure to comment in the CW Cafe tomorrow night your immediate reactions. I'll do that too. Thanks so much, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you to members of the CWK Alliance who help support the show and make it possible. I absolutely cannot do the show without you. And thank you to all of you who join me every week on CWK Live. This is Dan Dare reminding you that this is a live podcast you're looking for. Bright suns, my friends. May the stars light your way. See you next time.